welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I am so excited to be rejoined by Coldwell Banker Stratford Place very own Laura Catrambone-Gerace. Laura, welcome back to the program.
Hi, thanks. Glad to be back.
It's an honor to have you. Last time when we brought you on, we talked a little bit about your unique approach to, again, taking care of people. Laura, as a refresher for our listeners, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your practice with Coldwell Banker and who you focus on.
So I have been, I got my license in 1989, so that makes me old. And I got into the business because her partner, Carol, wanted to open up their own real estate office, and they told me to go get my license. And I said, why would I do that? I don't like salespeople. And my cousin told me to shut up and go get my license. And what I realized is I'm really not a salesperson at all. I just know what to do when you want to sell your house, and I know what to do when you want to buy it. But the first thing I do when I show property is I walk in and I tell you everything I don't like about the house. I point out things that the average buyer might not even recognize. I also rehab on the side, so I have a serious eye for flaws. And I think it's important that the consumer knows the flaws. It's not that means it's a bad house. You probably still can buy it, but you need to know the flaws before you buy it.
Ain't that fascinating? Again, somebody in the world of real estate that's not focusing on the sales, but really, really focusing on, again, taking care of people, taking care of families, which is so important. So you've been doing this for approximately 34 years now, which is incredible. And I'm sure that time has flown by. Laura, just to take a step back for a moment as we talk about real estate in general, what has changed in the past 34 years? How has your customer base evolved? And tell us about those happy and those sad moments.
Yeah, so many things has changed. Of course, like when I first got in the business, we got books delivered to us, and that's how we knew what the new listings were that were on the market. So, a house could have been on the market for a week before we even knew about it because we didn't get the book yet. Now a house is on the market for 30 seconds and it has an offer on it. The market has, we've had a lot of changes. I mean, the fall of the real estate market, and I can't even remember the years because they were a blur, 2008 or something, whatever the fall of the real estate market was. That was a really crazy time. People were buying properties and turning around and selling them the next day for $30,000 over what they paid for them. And we're sort of seeing that now, but not as bad. But the difference is, which I think is very important for people to know, the difference in when the market was crazy before was because of poor lending habits. Lenders were giving people a mortgage because they had a pulse. They had no money down. They had no skin in the game. You can't do that. And so the market went crazy because everybody was out buying houses. Now the market is crazy because of basic economic issues, which is we have low inventory, period. We have low inventory and people have to buy houses.
And Laura, I hate to interrupt, but that's not unique just to the market where you focus on. And I know you're out of Westchester, but dealing throughout the Chicagoland area. That low inventory is really across the board, isn't it?
Oh, it's across the country, 100% across the country. Yes.
Fascinating. Yeah. So again, I'm chatting with Laura Catrambone-Gerace from Coldwell Banker Stratford Place, an expert and the guru in everything real estate. Certainly, your passion comes through the radio waves, and we're grateful to have your subject matter expertise as a returning guest on the show. Laura, we have about a minute and a half remaining, and I'm curious if you have a crystal ball. What do you predict about the market? You've talked about your ups and downs and how things have changed over the years, but what do you expect over these next 5 years?
I think what's going to happen in the next 5 years is we're going to see a stabilization. That doesn't mean that the market's going to drop. I don't think it's going to drop at all. I think what's going to happen is I do think in about next 6 months to a year that the interest rates are going to come down a little bit. And I do think that that's going to open up the market more because people that are sitting on their property that don't want to sell because they only have a 3% interest rate. Now, when they go, well, I can move up if I pay 4.5%, 5% interest, they're going to do it, and we're going to see more properties on the market, which is going to just stabilize the market. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to go back to real estate normal.
Interesting. Well, that's certainly, everything what goes up must come down, and the pendulum swings from side to side. But you've been weathering the storm for 34 years and beyond, and certainly an expert for all of our listeners to turn to. So, Laura, I'd like to give our listeners a chance to get in touch with you and your team at Coldwell Banker Stratford Place. How can we do that?
Oh, very simple. My phone number is 708-212-4905. And then all the listeners will laugh when I give my email, S like Sam, P like Peter, Laura, Laura, at, get ready, AOL.com.
Every time you're going to come on, I'm going to laugh about that, because AOL in this case is an advantage. It shows you've been doing this and you have the expertise to prove it. So again, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. I encourage everybody to get in touch with Laura Catrambone-Gerace from Coldwell Banker Stratford Place. We'll link it in our show notes. We'll be right back after a quick break here on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship.
Thank you.